towards the end of my senior year, I started going out with a gal named Emily. Kid and I had broken up the previous semester. I was not having the easiest time with it. She was on my fucking mind all the time. I missed her so badly, and I think we were previously talking about getting married and having kids, and now it was completely over. And I know she was having a hard time with it as well, and like the other side of it was eventually she's going to go out with someone else, and I physically was getting sick thinking about that. I had no right to feel that way because of what I did, but I couldn't help it. I could not grasp or wrap my head around the fact that she was going to go out with someone else eventually and ultimately be intimate. Like even thinking about it now, I mean, she's married and kids and all that, like none of that, all that stuff is what it is, but thinking about how I felt at the time still makes me queasy because I didn't want it to be over. But anyway, I started going out with this girl named Emily. I met her in Richmond. We all lived in Richmond. She lived in Richmond too. She went to William and Mary, and we were as opposite as you can get. She's very liberal. I'm pretty conservative. But the cool thing is we stayed away from talking about the things we knew we probably wouldn't like about each other. One, we were physically attracted to each other. She was so cute, and she had a little mole down outside of her mouth on her cheek. And she outwardly, like the way she dressed, all that, you would have assumed she was conservative, ponytail with a ribbon, the shirt with the Oxford shirt with the sleeves rolled up and the cuffs on her jeans, like just looked almost like a 50s, one of those, what do they call it, bobby sock or whatever the hell they are? I don't know, I'm probably saying the wrong thing. But she and I hit it off, and where we clicked is we stayed at a restaurant after everybody else left. We were all out as a group, and we probably talked about an hour and a half, and she started like just moving right in, sharing some frustration she had with her family and some things she was trying to work through. And I still have a letter she wrote me not long after that where she talked about the conversation we had and listening to her, and then lo and behold finding out that I had the hots for her like she had for me. And then she had a little line in there saying that she never thought anything would happen between us. Ha ha, silly her. So this is after we had been intimate. But the reason I'm bringing her up is I have 2 permanent scars, one on my left shoulder and one on my left shoulder blade. And this would have been from a night. Let me step back. I faked it to try to win her over. I'm a dumb shot. I got my degree and all that kind of stuff. But I wasn't her, and I wasn't her friends. I remember going and buying a book on Nietzsche, and what was the other one I bought? Freud, maybe? Something like that. Pretending that I was reading books on philosophy, trying to impress her. So whenever I was around her, those books would somehow be in her line of sight. I maybe read the first chapter, and maybe. Anyway, she put on a play. She put on a play at she was a theater girl, and she put on a play at William and Mary. Invited me to come out there, so I did. And it was Summersby, and I was chewing on my tongue. I was so fucking bored. I mean, I feel terrible. I'm so such a dim bulb when it comes to stuff like that. Not my thing. But and her friends, super smug. They didn't like me. They were really liberal. They knew that I was a jock, muscles, weightlifting, girls, beer, all that stuff that they had disdain for. So they were condescending, talking down to me, all that bullshit. And it was all I could do to not pick one of them up and throw them through a fucking window. I was probably half a foot taller than all of the guys. And I don't know if there was, and I shouldn't say anymore. I'm not going to say anymore. They're fine. But anyway, we went back to her apartment, and one thing led to another. We got intimate, and really started tearing up her room. And that's where I got the scars from. She dug those eagle talons of hers. She drew blood. She had to throw away her pillowcase because I used it to stop the bleeding on my shoulder. And I'm not going to lie, yes, I had scars and I had blood, and it was like, what the fuck afterwards? But being an athlete, playing football, I had a high threshold for pain, and to be honest, I kind of liked it. And when she was digging in and grabbing on, I was all about it. I don't know how, I can't explain how excited I was, and it just added to what we were doing. So yeah, Emily, you know, I'll never forget you. I know that you had your problems with me afterwards because I went through a phase where I was hooking up with whoever I could. But no, I mean, I've got these scars right here on my left shoulder and shoulder blade.